My guest today, you guys, is another one of our agents in our coaching program. She has we were just talking off air, between January and when we're shooting this in the middle of April, getting to the end of April, has closed $4 million as a brand new real estate agent. And with us today, we have Tanya Lores to tell us all about her journey. Tanya, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's jump right into it. Tell us, what market are you in and how long have you been in real estate?
I'm in the Denver, Colorado market, and I started in real estate in November of 2020, the very end of November.
Cool. So you get your license. What drew you to want to get into real estate in the first place?
Well, I have a long background in real estate on the appraisal side for 10 years. And then I got into oil and gas. I was a landman. And I always knew that I wanted to get my license and kind of dabble into real estate on the sales side because I was so strong at it in the oil and gas realm. But, last year, everything went for a loop and oil and gas tanked. And I was like, okay, well, now's my chance. So I got my license and I was ready to hit the ground running.
I love it. I love it. So you get your license in November. What, if you can think back, what was maybe one of the big aha moments that you had as a brand new realtor that you didn't realize before you got your license?
So one, I had no idea how expensive it was going to be to start. I did plan. I had pretty much 9 months saved that could cover me for good, right? For those 9 months. But I was not expecting the amount of overhead it was going to cost to initially start. So that would be the first thing I would say. And then secondly, I was pretty well prepared that it was going to be tough work, and mentally I was ready to kind of grind. I think a lot of people get into it and think that they're just going to get business coming to them. And I already, with oil and gas experience, knew that I was going to have to work at it. So I just went in with the mindset of I've got a year to get myself, I'm going to learn the business and try to help as many people as I possibly can. And we'll just see what happens.
I love it. I love it. How did you're exactly right. I do a lot of these interviews, as you know, and most people don't realize how hard it is before they got into business, and they don't realize that business doesn't just come to you.
Yeah.
How did you have that mindset? Because I remember back a conversation you had, I think, with Ron on my team, and then you and I jumped on a call talking through what real estate actually is without all the hype, without all the rhetoric out there. And we had an honest conversation about it being a direct outbound sales business, and you got to go and get it. How did you know that before you became an agent?
Because I've done it before. So, before in 2019, I closed almost $20 million in oil and gas. And every single dollar I closed was from a cold call. And so I know that it's a grind, it's not as glamorous as some people think it is, that you got to get on the phone. You're on the phone all the time. You get people to tell you kick rocks every single day, and you just keep going and you keep showing up every day, knowing that the work will get you through. And it does. It works out.
I love it. So we're going to talk through your journey, but you off air, you were telling me you've closed $4 million. Really, you got started in January through where we're shooting this at the end of April. And we're going to talk through how you've been able to do that in a second, Tanya. But the question is, what would you say to all the new real estate agents getting into the business that keep hearing, oh, cold calling, that stuff doesn't work, that's old school, you could just sit around and post on Instagram and you can sell houses? How would you shoot people straight and tell them the truth about your actual experience?
Well, I'll tell you. So first of all, when I started with the brokerage I'm at, they laughed at me when I said that I was going to start calling FSBOs. And literally, I was laughed at, and they said, good luck. You're going to be reaching out to your sphere and following our program, by the end of the month, you're spinning your wheels. And I was like, okay, you don't know how strong I am on the phone.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could figure this out. And I just knew, after watching your videos. And so my brokerage, they do a program called Ninja Training. I'm sure
Yep.
you've probably heard of it. It's amazing. It's great. And it's all about adding value, right? Well, you have that, and then you take your program, which is the same thing. They're colliding together and you don't even realize it. So people think that going after FSBOs is yuck, so salesy.
Right.
It's like, oh man, it's so aggressive. And with the way that you have set it up, it's completely opposite as aggressive and salesy. We're literally just adding value to their lives. And if they want to work with you, that's excellent. And if they don't, that's fine too.
That's
You just
right.
keep it moving. But you find those people that are your people, and those are the people that you're working with.
I love it. I love it. So now, really after the first quarter, you're sitting at where you're sitting at as a brand new licensee. What are they saying now at your
Oh, I get
brokerage?
calls all day, every day. I get calls from my managing brokers. Oh, I see all these new listings. Like you're doing really good. I get calls from other agents. Like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you getting all these listings? And they're all drowning in buyers. And they're
Yep.
like hating their lives right now. And then, I have other brokerages calling me too.
Are they asking you to train everybody yet? That's coming soon, just so you know.
No, 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 they haven't. I think, they still don't get it. They still think that it's a very, salesy thing. And I don't think that they really understand the process, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Well, here's the reality. And man, this is such an interesting concept. I didn't have this planned for this interview, but you brought this up and something just struck me. So you came into the industry and your brokerage was going to give you advice to go this way. You decided to go this way.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed at you. You did it anyway. And now you've proved them all wrong. What would you like? So this is so interesting because you have so many people out of respect for the industry, but here's the reality. You have so many people
Mhm.
giving advice to brand new realtors that is bad advice of people that have never actually succeeded themselves in this business,
Yeah.
telling realtors to go this way. It's total crap. And you went this way. How do you figure out who do you listen to and who don't you? Like, what advice would you give to a new agent under that
Wow.
circumstance?
Yeah. And, for new agents, you hear this all the time, it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But you get people reaching out to you every single day trying to sell you something,
Yep.
the next big deal that's going to make you rich. You're going to be the number
Yeah.
one agent in Colorado. I think the reason why I knew for a fact that this was going to work is because you're authentic. Your program is authentic and you're coming from a place of serving others. You're trying to help them instead of sell them.
That's
So
right.
more listening, less talking, more, being of service, less telling them that they can't sell on their own because we know they can. But by providing value, they end up wanting to do business with you. So I think coming from that place of being authentic was how I knew it was going to work because that's how it worked for me in oil and gas, was being authentic and really trying to help people. So I think, and to your question, as far as like knowing where to go, whose advice do you take? You have to do what feels right for you.
Right.
If you're the type of person where you are highly successful making very aggressive phone calls, there are programs that will train you and teach you to be successful. But I think 90% of people don't feel comfortable making those calls. And there's a reason why it's not resonating with a lot of people. And I feel like when you can learn a way to bring in business, but also be authentic, things just start clicking into place.
That's great. That's great. So, all of your business, except for one deal that's been a Sphere deal, have come from for sale by owners. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get into it. Let's talk about, Tanya, how in the world you're doing this, because again, we're talking about literally about 100 days in the business, based on when you got started. You got licensed in December, but you got a bunch of stuff taken care of. You were getting your license and you're getting
Yeah.
business cards and all that stuff. You really started in January, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let's talk about step number one. What does a new agent do if they want to go out there and start earning business?
Yeah, you have to do the work. You got to start grinding. So what changed my trajectory was the 31-day challenge, making all fresh FSBO calls every single day of the month in January live. I hated it, every minute of it. Oh my God, I hated my life so bad because it makes you so vulnerable because everybody can see what you're doing and
Right.
you have to show up. I remember one call, like I really got my butt handed to me and I was just like devastated. I was humiliated and I was like, I'm done. I'm not making any more of these calls, but I'm just way too competitive. I had to finish the
Yeah.
challenge, right? But like, it's like working out. It's strengthening those muscles every single day. You look in the mirror, like I don't see a difference. But 6 months later, you're a whole new person,
That's right.
So I feel like it was strengthening my skills every day. So then I got my first listing that month. And then February, I was like, okay, well, thank God I don't have to do this live anymore. But I'm still gonna keep up calling the fresh FSBOs every day. I'm just gonna keep on, flexing those muscles
That's
and
right.
strengthening those skills. And then boom, I get another one. And then boom, I get two more. And it just like kept going. So I guess my best advice is to show up every day. You might suck so bad. You will be
You
told
will suck.
it rocks. Yeah, like you will get yelled at.
Yeah. Well,
And I think the biggest lesson is, you just have to keep going and not get in your head about it.
yeah, I love it. I mean, and I like the analogy with working out. That first 31 days, we were tearing down your muscle fibers so that you can get in a place to grow your muscle, grow your skills, grow your confidence. And I think that's the hardest part for people is really getting started,
Yeah.
because for a lot of people, they're fighting ego, they're fighting a bunch of different things. And here's the truth, because that I'm all about telling people the truth. And the truth is, you're going to suck in the beginning. Like you are not going to be good. People are going to hang up on you. You're going to get yelled at. You're going to get rejected. You're going to feel humiliated to your point. It is not going to be any fun. This is the pain you must go through in the beginning to start building skills, to start building some confidence so that you could start setting appointments. So then you go through all that pain, the first 31 days that you and I start working together pretty much.
Yeah.
And how is it that you were able to start setting appointments over the phone? Like what did you find that was really working for you where people said, yeah, Tanya, you know what? We'd be open to meeting with you.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that I notice a lot, especially in our group, is there are some people who are just so obsessed with hitting the script word for word.
Yeah.
Just reading it like they're regurgitating it word for word. And I think it's so important to memorize the script because you worded it so specifically that your every line is hitting a point with the person you're talking to. But it doesn't necessarily mean that your words have to be exactly the same as how you wrote them. It's, are we hitting those benchmarks? The questions you're asking are for a reason. And you have to be able to word it in a way that when you're having a conversation with someone, it feels like just like that, like you and I are having a conversation. If you're reading it in a way where you're memorizing it, it sounds
scripted. It sounds scripted.
And it doesn't resonate with people. So you have to learn the script so you know it so well that you can have a conversation with it rather than knowing it just word by word. And I think that was the shift. For 31 days, I was making my calls. I was building the memory so that when I'm having a conversation, I'm just having a conversation. People are like, oh, cool. She wants to help, And it just became so much easier because I was just talking to people. That's it. That was my goal. My goal wasn't, I'm going to get a listing appointment. I'm going to get an email. I'm going to sell this house. My goal is I'm going to have a good conversation with this person.
Love it. Dude, that's such great advice. So let me just unpack that for everybody so people can really get clear on everything that you just talked about, because you just dropped so much value. So here's what you just said. You said, first off, that you need to learn the script. So much so where you don't need the script, so you can personalize it. So you're not worried about what I have to say. You can
Exactly.
focus on listening so that the conversation comes across more authentic. Because here's the reality: every movie that we all love is 100% scripted, but the actors know the script so well, they
Mhm.
practice it so much, it doesn't come across like they're just reading a script verbatim. You know what I mean? And you're right. Every agent is so obsessed with, what are the words, Brandon? What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? That's important. What's more important is memorizing them so you can figure out the how. The
Yeah,
how to say them is a lot more important than the what. Would you agree?
1,000%.
Now, so you did that. That's what that 31-day challenge is designed to do. Then the second thing you said was detach from the outcome 100%. In the
Yeah.
beginning, you were not worried about what was going to happen during the phone call or after the phone call. You weren't worried about the appointment. You weren't worried about if you were generating a lead. All you were worried about was doing the work. Great, great advice. So through those two things, you've been able to set appointments. And
Mhm.
before we move on to into step three, which was the face-to-face preview appointment, how many, like, your average day or average week, do you find it very simple to set FSBO appointments now? Like, is it very simple for you to do that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could probably, I would say 90%
Yeah,
get a preview appointment without a doubt. I'm not trying to go on that many preview appointments a week.
that's right.
I'm at the point now where I'm funneling through the good leads. I want to meet those
Yes.
people right away. And then the one you get a feel for it
Yeah.
as you get better, you get a feel for the people that you need to see right away. You get a feel for the people who are like need to give them a week with strong follow-up, and you just kind of figure it out from there. But I'm not trying to see every single person I talk to every day.
Right. Makes total sense. And the thing that I want people to take away, you only got to that, to be fair, through meeting a lot of people. Like,
Yes,
the learning
yeah,
was in the
yeah,
doing. People want to skip over that, Tanya. They want to skip over doing the preview appointment and go right to the meat and potatoes, right to the listing. They want to get married on the first date, but
yeah.
they don't have the skills to do that. So what you're saying is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you agree that in the beginning you had to go meet with people?
Oh yeah, I was every single day
Yeah,
meeting new people, and at that time that was my goal, was
right.
to try to meet somebody every day.
And
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, and as you get better and stronger, you get a feel for people, you get a feel for how the conversations go, and then what it's like at their home and previewing the house, and it all comes together, I guess.
That's right. And that is, I mean, it was beautiful how you just kind of outlined that process. This is where I came up with that saying, the learning is in the doing.
Yeah,
Every new agent that I start coaching, they want to get to that point where you're at right now on day one. It's very difficult for me to try to explain and for them to understand the value of going through that process of calling every day, meeting with people. You got to go through that to get to where you're at now. So you're to the point now where you can hear quality, you know how to generate a quality lead, you know how to generate a quality appointment. Can you
yeah.
talk us through how a great appointment with a for sale by owner goes?
Yeah, I mean, really, the first thing straight out the gate is building rapport. Um, there's a lot to the listing presentation, and it's a lot to memorize. And trust me, I still am not there.
Yeah,
But I think the first and foremost, if you can build that rapport from the gate, it makes everything so much more easy to get through. But really, for me, uh, out of the five FSBO listings I've had, three of them called me without even meeting them. I never met them before. Two of them I went on the listing appointments, and both of them went really well. I don't really, I mean, I just was prepared, I guess.
Yeah.
So I studied your script. I went through step by step. I had my CMA. And I really drilled it down before I went on those appointments, and I showed up prepared and ready. And I think that, just by continuing to show them value, they went with me.
And showing value, let's get clear on that, because so many people get caught up in that. What they heard, I'll tell you, because I've been doing this for so long, what they think is value is you pulling out like a magic hat and a bunny rabbit and doing a magic trick. And this, no. What you're talking about is being prepared, being the expert, delivering the information in a way that positioned you as the obvious choice. When you say provide value, that's what you really mean. Is that fair?
Yeah. You have
So,
a much better way of breaking things down than I do.
well, no, that's great. I want people that are watching this to understand, because you don't, the messages I get on Instagram and on YouTube and Facebook, like when they say provide value, you give them like a box of chocolates and like a magic trick, and like, do you wash their car and you rub their feet? Like, what do you mean by provide them value? What we're talking about is being the absolute expert. And you've been able to really master the presentation, the listing presentation, in a way that has a seller feel 100% confident and comfortable signing a contract and listing their home with you. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And have you sold every listing you've taken so far?
I have one that's listed, but the rest of them, yes.
I love it. I
Uh,
love it.
and that one is it's a $1.2 million listing, so it's going to take a little bit longer to sell. It's in downtown as well, so
Was that a FSBO too?
yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So are you getting, I'm looking at the numbers. Are you getting about 2 FSBO listings? You're getting about 2 listings a month.
Yeah.
Brand new agent. Amazing. All right. So you go meet with them. And what's going to happen over time is exactly what's happening with you very quickly, which is you can do a lot less preview appointments, and a lot of these calls, through your skills, because of your past of how good you are on the phone, you can turn these into listing opportunities fairly quickly. And we've got script 1.0 and 2.0. But if you go meet with a for sale by owner and you don't get the listing, can you walk us through how you're staying in touch, how you're staying top of mind, how you're following up?
Yeah, and that happens all the time too.
Yeah.
There's more than not,
Right.
So for me, it's that constant follow-up that wins on that long game. There have been some that have been a short game for me, but most of them are the long game, and it's showing up. So I consistently am calling them Monday morning. Same conversation, and it's really quick and easy.
Yep.
And sometimes it's painful for some reason. I'm like, I don't want to make this call. I
Yeah.
don't know why. It's fear mostly. You're like, oh God, they're gonna think I'm annoying them.
Yep.
But the truth is every time I feel like they actually end up appreciating it.
I know it.
Not psyching yourself out. Show up every Monday. Getting them on that MLS search. I use Real Scout though, not the MLS, because Real Scout gives me more data.
Yep.
So getting them on that every week, they're getting an update. And then just consistently every week. And I'll tell you, once I got Vulcan 7 in February, that was a huge game changer for me, because I was seeing now so much more clearly where, when I didn't follow up, how I failed.
Yeah.
And seeing those people who are like, oh, I've got, 5 friends who are agents, or, oh, I don't need anything they give you. I would see like 2 weeks later, they list with an agent. And I'm like, see, I should have followed up.
Yeah.
And once I started seeing that, it was like, you can't hold me back from ever following up again.
It's phenomenal. That's where we say, the fortune's in the follow-up. And again, these are words that don't have context or meaning to somebody until they go through what you've gone through, and you understand how important it is, whether you want to or not, to stay in communication, because through consistent follow-up is where you get all the conversion.
Oh, absolutely. Almost every single deal I have had, they have told me that they have friends who are realtors, so they're not going to use a realtor.
Wow.
Everyone. I have a deal right now that the guy told me he was a realtor.
And this is where we come up with mean, you're bringing out all the things that we talk about in our work together, but like nothing is as it seems, right? So
I
many
say it
agents
every
here,
day.
they hear a for sale by owner say, you know what, Tanya, we're not interested in working with a realtor. They take that literally, they never follow up. And then 2 days later, that's listed with Tanya Laura's. It's like, how in the world did that happen? Well, because nothing is as it seems. You got to just keep following up.
Yep.
So based on where you're at right now, another thing just hit me. You're almost on pace to do $10 million in sales volume your first year in the business.
That's insane. And
It's
with
an
only 1,900 listings in Denver, that's insane.
yeah. I mean,
I don't even believe it. Sometimes like, this is crazy, but it's working.
It's crazy. So I want to, what would you like? We talked about, some of the detailed things, but like overall, generally speaking, for agents that are watching this, new or experienced, people that have been in the business for a while, that are not doing $10 million a year. And in your market, what does that pay you? $250,000 roughly, 300,000.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody who's just stuck? However, they're watching this interview with you. You're brand new to the industry, absolutely crushing it. What advice would you give to somebody?
My advice is honestly, really, like, you can do this. Anybody can do this.
Yes, that's what I say too.
Anybody can do this. Really. It's what we're doing is not hard. I get people that ask me all the time, like, what's your secret? What are you doing? Like, I'm just following the script. I am just doing the program. That's it. I'm not doing anything secret. I'm not offering them money. I'm not,
I know.
It's literally show up every day, do the work every day. That it's not glamorous, right? These calls, they're not fun.
Yeah. But Tanya, hold on, wait. So agents want the magic pill. There's no way they cannot accept that you're going to do $10 million your first year just simply making phone calls and doing the work. There's got to be a magic potion. What are you not telling me? And what you're saying is there is no Wizard of Oz behind these curtains. Only thing behind the curtain is hard work. And that's the truth.
Yep. And strengthening your skills.
Yeah.
If you keep doing it, it will pay off.
That's right.
And anybody can do it. But I think most people won't.
I love it. And I totally agree. Most people will not. Most people talk a whole bunch and they don't do a whole lot, and that's like 95% of our industry, unfortunately. But to your point, what we do, it's very simple. It's not easy. It's very simple. You got to do the work, strengthen your mindset, and strengthen your skills. Those three things over time, you'll be a top producer making multiple six figures, building a wealth. Because as a young person, I mean, the amount of income that you're going to generate, I want to do this again with you in a year. Like, you're going to make more than most physicians in Denver, most doctors, most lawyers, most CPAs, financial planners, and you're making phone calls. You know what I mean? That's why I love this business.
Yeah.
So what is your goal as you look forward over the next maybe 6, 9, 12 months?
Well, I want to keep growing, mentally.
Yeah.
I want to keep strengthening my skills. I'm still not even there. I'm just getting started. Like,
that's
I
right.
Dip my toe in the water. So I want to keep following the program. Right now, I've only been calling fresh FSBOs. I haven't even tapped into, I dabble in expireds. There's not really a crazy market here for it. There's no excuses because, right, like everything, nothing's as it seems, right?
Sure.
But I'd like to get more into expireds for rent by owners, absentee owners. I'm just taking it one bite at a time, right?
Absolutely.
So I'd like to do that. I'd like to just keep growing and learning as much as I can this year. Another thing that I have learned is, like, I thought this was the year of yes, right? I was so wrong. I took on like a couple buyers that have just not, like, it's been a lot of work. And I'm like, well, maybe not every opportunity is for me. So just kind of learning to stay in my lane and like what's
love that.
best.
Yes.
And really just like knowing what I'm good at and building on it.
It's phenomenal. It's so good. Well, listen, I want to thank you because again, people that watch these, you offer a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation. You show people that it's very possible to succeed in this business where, like we said, most don't, and most don't believe that they can. And so I want to thank you for doing this interview today because you're going to be able to help so many people. So thank you
Well,
so,
thank
so much.
you. I mean, really, thank you, because there aren't many people out there offering the amount of value that you do. And, you're such an authentic person and you genuinely care. And that matters, and I think
Absolutely.
if I can do that the way that you do that, my business will explode.
I love it. Thank you. That means a lot, Tanya. It really does. I love working with you. And to your point, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Like you world, you haven't seen nothing yet from Tanya Lawrence. Like I can't wait to do this again in 2021 and beyond and tracking your journey. I mean, you are on your way to the top of the mountain to where people want you to speak on stage about how you did it, and I can't wait to have you on stage very, very soon. So thanks again. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And I'm sure we'll see you on our coaching calls very soon.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Brandon.
Take care.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.